Every morning, a silent decision is made before you speak to anyone. You either take command of your mind or you hand it over to the world. Most people wake up reacting. Notifications dictate their mood. Urgency replaces intention. By the time the day begins, their focus is already fractured. High performers live by a different rule. They understand that the first hour is not about speed, but about sovereignty. It is the only time when discipline is easiest and excuses are weakest. Stoic philosophy was built for this moment, not in comfort, but in preparation, not to feel good, but to stay steady when pressure arrives. Before 7 a.m., there is no audience, no applause, only choices that shape who you become. In this video, you will learn the morning Stoic rituals high performers use to establish calm, clarity, and control before the world demands anything from them. These are not habits for productivity. They are rituals for self-command. Ritual 1. Wake up without negotiation. High performers do not start the day with motivation. They start with obedience to a decision already made. The moment you wake up, your authority is tested, not by circumstances, by comfort. Most people believe the real challenges of the day come later. Meetings, pressure, conflict. But the first and most decisive battle happens in bed, before your feet touch the floor. The alarm rings, and the mind immediately begins to negotiate. Just a few more minutes. You deserve rest. Today can start later. This negotiation feels harmless, but it quietly teaches your mind something dangerous. It teaches that feelings outrank principles. It teaches that comfort has veto power over intention. Stoic philosophy saw this weakness clearly. Marcus Aurelius wrote his morning reminders not to feel inspired, but to remain aligned. He did not ask himself what he wanted to do. He reminded himself what kind of person he chose to be. High performers follow the same logic. They remove choice from the equation. There is no debate. There is only execution. When you negotiate with yourself in the morning, you drain energy before the day even begins. Every internal argument fragments focus. Every delay strengthens resistance. By the time you finally move, you're already tired. But when you act immediately, something powerful happens. The mind has no time to create excuses. The body follows motion. Momentum replaces friction. This is not about discipline as punishment. It is about identity reinforcement. Each time you rise without hesitation, you send a clear signal inward. I'm someone who keeps promises, even when no one is watching. That signal compounds quietly. It shows up later when work gets uncomfortable, when conversations get difficult, when quitting feels justified. High performers understand that self-respect is built in private moments, especially the ones that feel small. Before 7 a.m., there is no applause, no validation, no external reward. That is exactly why this ritual matters. A simple rule governs this practice. No inner dialogue before movement. Feet on the floor. Stand up first. Think later. This may feel mechanical at first, even cold. But Stoicism was never about indulging emotion. It was about training the will to lead, not follow. To support this ritual, remove temptation in advance. Place your alarm across the room so standing is unavoidable. Prepare your clothes the night before to reduce friction. Design the environment so discipline requires less effort than delay. These are not hacks, they are structural decisions. High performers do not rely on willpower. They design away weakness. When you rise immediately, you reclaim authority over the day. You prove to yourself that comfort does not command you. You set a tone of quiet strength that carries forward. Say this to yourself as your feet touch the floor. I move when I decide, not when it feels easy. This single moment shapes the rest of the day. Not because waking up early makes you superior, but because refusing negotiation makes you free. This is how high performers begin. Not with energy, with command. Ritual 2. Silence before input. Before the world speaks, you must decide who speaks first. Most people never make that choice. The moment they wake up, information floods in. Messages, headlines, other people's urgency. Their mind becomes a public space before it ever becomes their own. High performers protect the first minutes of the morning with near obsession, not because they hate information, but because they understand timing. What enters your mind first sets the emotional temperature for everything that follows. When you start the day with noise, your nervous system shifts into reaction mode. Your attention scatters. Your emotions become easier to hijack. You begin responding to problems that are not even yours. Stoic philosophy warns against this quietly but clearly. If you do not govern your inner world, someone else will gladly do it for you, not out of malice, but out of their own needs. Silence is not emptiness. It is preparation. High performers intentionally delay input because they know clarity comes before consumption. They choose to meet themselves before meeting the world. This ritual is simple in form, but profound in effect. For the first 10 to 15 minutes after waking, there is no phone, no news, no voices outside your own. At first, this feels uncomfortable. Without stimulation, the mind grows restless. Thoughts surface that are usually drowned out. This discomfort is not a problem. It is the point. Silence reveals what distraction hides. In quiet moments, you become aware of emotional residue from yesterday. Unfinished conversations, lingering frustration, unspoken fear. If you ignore these and rush into input, they leak into your reactions all day. High performers face them early, not to dwell, but to observe without judgment. Stoicism teaches that you are not disturbed by events, but by your judgments about them. Silence creates the space to notice those judgments before they harden into habits. This is where emotional sovereignty is built. You are not required to solve anything at this time. You're only required to remain present, to sit, to breathe, to allow your mind to settle without interference. As the noise fades, something subtle happens. Your attention sharpens, your emotions slow. You begin to feel grounded rather than rushed. This is why high performers do not seek motivation in the morning. They seek stillness. Stillness makes you difficult to manipulate. It makes you less reactive to pressure. It gives you distance from impulses that normally feel urgent. From this state, decisions become cleaner. Boundaries feel firmer. Focus becomes natural rather than forced. To make this ritual sustainable, remove friction the night before. Charge your phone outside the bedroom. Use a traditional alarm clock if necessary. Create a physical boundary that protects mental space. This is not about discipline alone. It is about respect. When you delay input, you send yourself a powerful message. My inner state matters more than external demands. That message reshapes how you move through the rest of the day. You listen more carefully. You respond instead of react. You act with intention instead of urgency. Before 7 a.m., silence is your advantage. It is the one place where the world cannot reach you unless you allow it. Repeat this quietly in the morning. Nothing enters my mind without my permission. This ritual does not make life quieter. It makes you stronger within it. Ritual 3. Morning Stoic Reflection. Most people meet the day unprepared, not because they are lazy, but because they never pause to decide how they will respond when pressure arrives. High performers do not wait for chaos to test them. They rehearse mentally before it appears. The Stoics understood this deeply. They believed the mind should be trained in advance, not improvised under stress. Morning reflection was not journaling for self-expression. It was strategic preparation. Before the day begins, you face it on your own terms. This ritual starts with a simple truth. You will be challenged today. Someone will test your patience. something will not go as planned. Pretending otherwise is not optimism. It is negligence. High performers accept this reality without resentment. They ask one quiet question before the world demands answers. What might disturb my peace today? This is not pessimism. It is foresight. By naming potential stressors early, you remove their power to surprise you. A difficult meeting, a critical email, an unexpected delay. When these events occur later, they feel familiar instead of threatening. Stoic reflection continues with a second question. How will I respond when this happens? Not how you hope to respond, how you will respond. You decide in advance to remain calm, to speak with restraint, to act according to values rather than emotion. This decision becomes an anchor when feelings rise. High performers do not rely on willpower in the heat of the moment. They rely on preparation made in calm. The final question is the most important. What is within my control today? Stoicism draws a sharp line between effort and outcome. You can control your actions, your attitude, your standards. You cannot control other people's moods, opinions, or reactions. This clarity reduces unnecessary suffering. You stop carrying responsibility that was never yours. You conserve energy for what actually matters. This reflection does not need to be long. 5 minutes is enough. Pen and paper if possible. 3 short answers. No polishing, no overthinking. What matters is consistency, not eloquence. At first, this practice may feel uncomfortable. Writing exposes your inner assumptions. It forces honesty, but that honesty becomes strength. Over time, patterns emerge. You notice recurring triggers, predictable emotional traps, situations where you tend to lose yourself. High performers use this awareness to refine behavior, not to judge themselves. Each morning becomes a quiet calibration. This ritual builds emotional resilience. When stress appears, it feels lighter. You have already met it once in your mind. You are no longer caught off guard. Stoic reflection also creates distance between stimulus and response. That distance is where freedom lives. Instead of reacting automatically, you choose deliberately. Instead of being swept into urgency, you remain steady. Instead of feeling attacked, you remain anchored. Before 7 a.m., no one sees this work. No metrics capture it. But it shapes every interaction that follows. End this ritual with a simple sentence. I am prepared, not surprised. High performers do not control the world. They control their readiness for it. This is how calm becomes reliable, not by chance, but by choice. Ritual 4. Voluntary discomfort. Comfort weakens quietly. Not in dramatic moments, but in daily softness, you stop noticing. High performers understand something most people avoid. If you only act when conditions are easy, you become fragile when they are not. Stoic philosophy treats comfort with suspicion, not because comfort is evil, but because dependency on it destroys resilience. This is why the Stoics practiced voluntary discomfort. They chose difficulty on their own terms, so life would have less power over them later. Before the day begins, high performers introduce a controlled form of discomfort: cold water, early movement, physical exertion before excuses arrive. This ritual is not about punishment. It is about calibration. When you step into mild discomfort by choice, your nervous system learns an important lesson. I can endure more than I think. That lesson changes how you respond to pressure all day. Most people avoid discomfort in the morning. They seek warmth, ease, and delay. But this teaches the mind to associate mornings with resistance. High performers reverse the association. They link mornings with strength. A cold shower is a common example, but not the only one. What matters is intention, not extremity. A brisk walk before sunrise. Stretching when your body wants to stay still. Training before motivation appears. The discomfort should be safe, brief, and deliberate. When the body resists, the mind speaks loudly. This is unnecessary. This can wait. You've earned comfort. That voice is familiar. It appears later in the day too, when work gets hard, when discipline is tested, when quitting feels justified. By facing that voice early, you weaken it everywhere else. Stoic philosophy does not teach you to eliminate resistance. It teaches you to move forward despite it. Voluntary discomfort builds emotional insulation. Small stressors stop feeling catastrophic. Inconvenience loses its ability to derail you. You stop interpreting challenges as threats. High performers are calm under pressure, not because they are fearless, but because discomfort is no longer foreign. This ritual also restores perspective. When your morning includes something difficult by choice, the rest of the day feels lighter by comparison. Traffic annoyances shrink. Minor frustrations lose urgency. You remain proportionate. There is also a deeper benefit. Voluntary discomfort restores agency. When you choose hardship, you're no longer its victim. You are its author. That sense of authorship carries into difficult conversations, hard decisions, moments where most people freeze or avoid. You trust yourself more because you have evidence. Evidence that you do not collapse when things are uncomfortable. This ritual does not require intensity, it requires consistency. One uncomfortable action each morning is enough. Done quietly. Done without performance. High performers do not broadcast discipline. They internalize it. Before 7 a.m., this practice remains invisible. But it strengthens something fundamental. Your relationship with discomfort. You stop fearing it. You stop bargaining with it. You meet it calmly. End this ritual with a simple acknowledgement. Discomfort trains my mind. The goal is not suffering. The goal is readiness. When the day applies pressure later, it finds you already tempered, already steady, already capable. This is how resilience is built, not in crisis, but in chosen moments before comfort takes over. Ritual Factor 5. 1. Dominant intention. Most people confuse movement with progress. They stay busy, yet feel strangely empty at the end of the day. High performers avoid this trap by doing something deceptively simple. They decide what truly matters before the day fragments their attention. Stoic philosophy values clarity over chaos. Not everything deserves your energy. Not every demand deserves a response. Without intention, effort scatters and meaning dissolves. High performers begin the morning by choosing one dominant intention. Not a long list, not a dozen goals. One action that, if completed, would make the day successful. This practice feels uncomfortable in a culture addicted to productivity. It forces you to confront what is essential and discard what is merely urgent. It exposes how much of your time is spent reacting rather than acting. The Stoics understood this danger well. They warned that a person who tries to do everything ends up doing nothing well. Focus was not a luxury. It was a discipline. Choosing one dominant intention is an act of courage. It means accepting that some tasks will remain undone. It means resisting the false comfort of busyness. It means committing to depth over breadth. High performers ask a single question in the morning. If I do only one thing today, what must it be? This question cuts through noise. It reveals priorities you might otherwise avoid. Often, the answer is not what feels easiest, it is what carries the most weight. Once chosen, this intention becomes an anchor. When distractions appear, you measure them against it. When requests arrive, you evaluate whether they serve it. When energy dips, you return to it. This ritual transforms how the day unfolds. Instead of drifting between tasks, you move with direction. Instead of feeling pulled, you feel aligned. Instead of exhaustion, you feel completion. Stoic philosophy teaches that peace comes from living in accordance with reason. Reason demands order. Order begins with intention. This practice also protects you emotionally. Without a clear intention, every interruption feels invasive. Every delay feels personal. But when your purpose is defined, disruptions lose their sting. You stop feeling overwhelmed because you know what matters. You stop feeling guilty because your effort is concentrated. You stop feeling scattered because your attention has a home. High performers do not chase motivation. They let clarity generate momentum. This ritual does not require complexity. Write your dominant intention on paper. One sentence. Plain language. Visible. Do not decorate it. Do not rationalize it. Commit to it. As the day progresses, you will feel pressure to abandon it. Emails will multiply. Requests will stack. Urgency will masquerade as importance. This is where Stoic discipline is tested. You return to your intention not emotionally, but deliberately. You remind yourself that choosing means excluding, and exclusion is not failure. It is focus. By the end of the day, something subtle but powerful happens. You feel grounded rather than depleted. You feel progress rather than motion. You feel ownership over your time. Before 7 a.m., no one sees this decision, but it shapes everything that follows. End this ritual with a quiet commitment. If I complete this, the day is a win. High performers do not do more. They do what matters. This is how intention becomes strength. Ritual 6. Virtue. Check. Most people measure their days by outcomes. Wins, losses, approval, results. High performers measure something deeper, who they were while the day unfolded. Stoic philosophy does not place character after success. It places character before it. Before 7 a.m., high performers perform a quiet check that few people ever consider. They decide how they will act, not just what they will achieve. This ritual begins with a simple realization. You cannot control how the world responds to you today, but you can control the quality of your response to the world. The Stoics organized life around 4 virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, temperance. These were not abstract ideals. They were practical standards for daily behavior under pressure. High performers choose one virtue to lead the day, not all 4. 1. This choice creates moral clarity. It gives the mind a compass when situations become ambiguous. It answers the question, how should I act when things get uncomfortable? If you choose wisdom, you commit to thinking before reacting. You pause instead of rushing. You listen instead of interrupting. You value understanding over being right. If you choose courage, you accept discomfort without retreat. You speak when silence would be easier. You act when fear suggests delay. You stop hiding behind excuses. If you choose justice, you treat others fairly regardless of mood. You do not manipulate. You do not cut corners. You act with integrity even when no one is watching. If you choose temperance, you practice restraint. You do not overindulge emotionally or physically. You regulate impulses. You maintain balance when excess is tempting. This ritual is powerful because it shifts success inward. Even if outcomes disappoint you, character remains intact. Even if plans fail, dignity stays preserved. High performers understand that losing control of character is more damaging than losing a deal. Because once character erodes, everything else follows. This check also reduces emotional volatility. When a situation provokes you, the question is no longer personal. It becomes ethical. What does courage look like here? What would restraint require? What response aligns with wisdom? That single shift changes everything. You stop spiraling emotionally. You stop personalizing events. You step into a role you have already chosen. Stoic philosophy teaches that peace comes from internal consistency, from acting in harmony with values rather than impulses. This ritual strengthens that consistency daily. High performers do not rely on mood to determine behavior. Mood is unstable. Virtue is not. Over time, this practice builds trust in yourself. You know how you will act under pressure. You know where your line is. You know what you refuse to compromise. That self-trust creates calm. You move through the day less anxious about outcomes, less reactive to criticism, less shaken by setbacks. Because even when things go wrong, you do not betray yourself. This ritual takes less than a minute. Choose the virtue. Name it. Commit to it. Write it down if possible. Carry it mentally if not. Before meetings, before decisions, before difficult conversations. You return to it. Before 7 a.m., this choice is invisible. But throughout the day, it becomes unmistakable in your behavior. End this ritual with a quiet reminder. I measure my day by who I am, not what I get. High performers do not chase validation, they build character. And character, practiced daily, becomes an unshakable form of success. Ritual 7. Delay the world. Most people feel overwhelmed before the day even begins, not because the day is heavy, but because they invite the world in too early. High performers understand a quiet truth. Just because the world is awake does not mean it deserves access to you. The final Stoic ritual before 7 a.m. is not about doing more. It is about postponing exposure. Emails, messages, requests, they all arrive with urgency, but very few deserve immediacy. When you respond too early, you surrender control of your inner state before it has stabilized. Stoic philosophy teaches that you owe the world right action, not instant reaction. There is no virtue in being constantly available. There is only exhaustion disguised as responsibility. High performers delay the world on purpose. They choose when the day truly starts. This ritual is simple but emotionally difficult. For the first focused block of the morning, there is no email, no work chat, no social platforms, no reacting to other people's priorities. This is not avoidance. It is sequencing. When you open the world too early, you absorb its anxiety. Other people's stress becomes your own. Their urgency hijacks your attention. Your nervous system enters defense mode before you've even chosen your direction. But when you delay input, something stabilizes inside you. You move from center instead of chaos. You approach the day from strength instead of obligation. High performers protect this boundary because they understand one thing. You cannot lead your life if you start it by serving everyone else. Stoicism does not promote isolation. It promotes order. You first align yourself, then you engage. This ritual reinforces self-respect. You send yourself a clear message. My time has structure. My attention has value. At first, guilt may arise. The fear of missing something. The discomfort of not responding immediately. This is normal. That guilt reveals how conditioned you are to urgency, not how necessary it actually is. Most messages can wait. Most problems do not explode because you paused. What truly matters will still be there after you are grounded. High performers are not careless. They are intentional. By delaying the world, you sharpen your responses later. You communicate more clearly. You make fewer emotional decisions. You stop reacting from depletion. This ritual also strengthens boundaries beyond the morning. Once you experience the clarity that comes from delayed input, you become less tolerant of constant intrusion. You begin to ask better questions. Does this need my attention now? Or does it simply want it? That distinction changes your relationship with work, people, and stress. Stoic philosophy emphasizes freedom from unnecessary disturbance. This ritual is one of the clearest expressions of that freedom. Before 7 a.m., no one sees this restraint, but later they feel it. In your calm tone, in your measured responses, in your refusal to be rushed. To practice this ritual, define a clear boundary. 1 hour, 90 minutes, a fixed window where the world waits. Communicate it if necessary, but do not apologize for it. End this ritual with a simple reminder. I decide when the world enters my day. High performers are not reactive. They are deliberate. They do not let urgency replace intention. They do not confuse availability with value. By delaying the world each morning, you protect the one thing that shapes everything else, your inner state. And when that is steady, nothing outside you can easily shake it. What you've seen today is not a list of habits. It is a way of taking command before the world takes control from you. High performers do not rely on motivation or mood. They wake up without negotiation. They choose silence before noise. They prepare their mind before pressure arrives. They train resilience through voluntary discomfort. They move with one clear intention. They act from virtue. And they delay the world until they are ready to meet it. These rituals are quiet, almost invisible, but that is exactly why they work. Before 7 a.m., you decide who you will be when the day tests you. You don't need to change everything at once. Choose just one ritual from this video. Practice it for 7 days in silence. No announcing, no explaining, just consistency. Stoic philosophy reminds us that a disciplined morning creates a resilient life. When you control the beginning, the rest loses its power over you. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this video helped you, support the channel by liking, subscribing, and sharing it with someone who needs clarity and calm. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, remember this: own your mornings, and you will own yourself.